This English learning video is created and published by StoryPath English. All rights reserved. Helping you learn English through meaningful stories, one step at a time. The Way of Small Things. Anna lived in a quiet street near the edge of the city. Her apartment was small, with one room, a tiny kitchen, and a window that looked out onto a row of trees. Every day, Anna followed the same routine. She got up, washed her face, made tea, and went to work. It was always the same. But on one morning in early spring, something felt different. She did not know why. Maybe it was the soft sound of the birds outside her window or the light rain on the glass. Maybe it was because she had slept better the night before. Whatever the reason, Anna looked around her little apartment and thought, I want to change something. Not everything. She did not want to move or find a new job, but she wanted her days to feel more alive. She wanted to notice things, to feel more present. She didn't want her life to pass too fast. She went to the kitchen and turned on the kettle. The small green teapot sat on the shelf, waiting as always. She chose a bag of mint tea and placed it in her cup. As the water boiled, she looked outside. The trees were still wet from the night's rain. A man in a blue coat walked by with a red umbrella. A woman with a dog stopped to check her phone. A bus passed in the distance. Anna liked this quiet time. No emails, no talking, just the small sounds of the morning. She picked up her notebook from the table. It had a soft blue cover and empty pages. She opened to the first page and wrote, I want to feel different. I want to enjoy my days more. I want to see the small things that make life beautiful. It was only one sentence, but it made her feel calm. She closed the notebook, took her tea, and sat by the window. She sat in her chair and drank her tea slowly. The warmth of the cup felt good in her hands. She looked around her room. There was a plant near the window. It had 5 green leaves. The pot was a little cracked on one side, but the plant was alive and strong. Anna touched one leaf gently. She thought, this plant grows every day, even when I do not look. Maybe I can grow too. After breakfast, Anna got ready for work. She wore her gray coat, black shoes, and a scarf with blue and yellow lines. She checked her bag, phone, wallet, notebook, keys, all ready. Outside, the air was fresh. The rain had stopped and the street was quiet. She walked slowly to the bus stop. She passed the bakery and smelled fresh bread. A child held a bag with 2 loaves inside. The boy smiled at the smell. At the corner, she saw a cat sitting on a wall. It watched the street like it had all the time in the world. Anna thought again, the world is full of small stories. I just never look. When she got on the bus, there were only 5 people inside. She sat by the window. A man in a dark suit sat at the front. An old woman held a small bag on her lap. 2 students talked quietly near the back. The bus moved slowly through the city. Anna watched people walking. She watched shop signs. She watched clouds in the sky. Usually, she read her phone or checked messages, but today she did not. Today she just looked and listened. At one stop, a young woman got on with a large plant in her arms. The plant had long leaves and a purple flower. Anna smiled. The woman sat across from her and held the plant gently, like it was something very important. Anna took out her notebook and wrote. A woman on the bus carried a plant with purple flowers. She smiled at it like it was her friend. It made me smile too. When she arrived at work, she felt more awake than usual. The office was quiet. She said hello to the receptionist and walked to her desk. She worked at a small company that helped people plan trips. She answered emails, made calls, and helped customers with their plans. The work was not difficult, but it was often the same. Still, today she noticed something new. When she said hello to her coworker James, he smiled more than usual. James, good morning, Anna. Anna, good morning. James, you look happy today. Anna laughed softly. Anna, maybe I am. At lunch, Anna went outside. She found a bench near a small tree. She ate a sandwich and drank orange juice. The sky was still gray, but the light was soft. A dog ran by, chasing a leaf in the wind. 2 teenagers walked past, one holding a guitar. Anna thought life keeps moving, even when we stop. She didn't open her phone. She didn't think about emails or work. She just sat and watched. Before going back inside, she wrote one more note. I sat outside. The wind was soft. I saw a dog, a guitar, and a tree. These things made my lunch better. When Anna returned to her desk, there were more emails to read. She answered them one by one. She listened to a phone message. She helped a man who wanted to book a train to Italy. Usually, she felt tired by this time of day. But today, something was different. Her body was still tired, but her mind was more open. She noticed small details. She looked at her cup of tea. The steam moved slowly in the air. She touched the table and felt the wood. She listened to the soft sound of typing around her. It was all very normal, but somehow not boring. Around 4 o'clock, she stood up and went to the kitchen in the office. She poured hot water into her cup and added a slice of lemon. Mark, a man from another team, walked in. Mark, hi Anna. Anna, hi. Mark's taking a break. Anna, yes, just tea. Mark smiling, best part of the day. They both laughed. Anna took her cup and went back to her desk. As she walked, she thought, maybe these small things, warm tea, kind words, are the best parts of the day. When the workday ended, Anna packed her bag and said goodbye to her coworkers. She walked to the bus stop again. It was beginning to rain, but she didn't mind. She liked the sound of rain on her umbrella. On the bus, she sat near the window again. This time, she didn't write anything. She just watched the rain move down the glass in long lines. At home, she changed into warm clothes and made soup. She lit a small candle on the table. The room was quiet. She ate slowly and thought about the day. Nothing big had happened. But still, something felt new. After dinner, she washed the dishes and cleaned the table. Then she sat in her chair near the window and opened her notebook. She turned to a new page and wrote, Today I noticed small things, a cat, a smile, a flower on the bus. I felt calm. Maybe this is the start of something. She closed the notebook and looked out the window. The rain was softer now. There was one man walking with a yellow umbrella. Anna watched him disappear around the corner. Then she made more tea and went to bed early. That night she slept deeply. And in her dream, she was walking in a quiet field. The sun was low, and there were small flowers everywhere. Each one had a different color. She didn't try to pick them. She just walked. Part 2, a new habit. Anna woke up before her alarm. The sun was rising slowly, and soft orange light came through the window. The rain was gone. The sky looked clear for the first time in many days. She stretched her arms and sat up in bed. It felt good to start the day this way, slowly, with time to think. She got out of bed, put on her warm slippers, and walked to the kitchen. She boiled water for tea and opened the window. The street was quiet. A few people walked past with coffee in hand. A bicycle bell rang in the distance. While her tea cooled, she opened her notebook. The last line she wrote the night before still echoed in her mind. Maybe this is the start of something. She turned the page and began to write again. I want to make a new habit. I want to write one good thing every day. It doesn't have to be big, just something real. One thing that made me feel calm or happy. After writing this, she sat with her tea and watched the sky grow brighter. She left home early that day. Instead of taking the bus directly to work, she chose to walk to the next stop, 3 blocks away. Along the way, she saw things she never noticed before. There was a bookstore on the corner with a small cat in the window. There was a tree with yellow flowers blooming in front of a red door. There was a man sweeping the street, and he hummed a soft tune while he worked. Anna felt like she was stepping into a world that was always there. She just hadn't looked. She got on the bus at the next stop, smiling. She sat beside the window and wrote, I saw a bookstore cat. I saw yellow flowers. I heard someone hum while they worked. The world is full of gentle sounds and colors if I take the time to see them. At work, things were normal. Emails, questions, meetings. But Anna's mind felt clearer. She didn't rush through tasks. She took short breaks to breathe or drink water. She even wrote a small note and left it on her coworker's desk. "You always help with a smile. Thank you." Later that day, her coworker came to her and said, "I needed that today. Thank you, Anna." Anna didn't say much in reply, just smiled, but inside, her heart felt warm. That evening, she passed the same bookstore. This time, the door was open. She went inside. The air smelled like old paper and something sweet, maybe vanilla. Soft music played in the background. The shop owner smiled and nodded when she walked in. Anna didn't need a new book. She just walked through the small aisles and looked at the covers. Some were new, some were very old. She stopped at one shelf with notebooks. She picked one up. It was green with gold lines across the cover. She bought it. It would be a gift. She didn't know for whom yet. But she would find the right person. That night she wrote again. "I visited a bookstore. I saw a notebook and bought it. I think good things should be shared. I want to give this gift to someone, not now, but soon." After dinner, Anna sat by the window again. The street was darker now. Only a few lights were on in the building across from hers. She looked at the new green notebook she had bought earlier. She placed it on the table, next to her candle and tea. Then she opened her blue notebook, the one she always used for her daily notes. She read her last few entries. Each one was about something small, but each one made her smile. She thought, "This is working. I feel different slowly, gently. Not in a loud way, but in a quiet way that stays." Then she turned to a new page and wrote, "A quiet evening, a new notebook, tea with lemon. The world feels slower now, in a good way. A night walk." Before bed, Anna felt the need to go outside. It was not late, only 8:30. The air outside was cool, the sky was clear. She put on her coat and walked down the stairs. Outside, the streets were mostly empty. There was a soft hum of cars in the distance. She walked without a plan. At the corner, she turned left. Then she walked past a small park. There, she saw something unexpected. A young man was playing a violin under a tree. There was no box for money. No sign. He was just playing, for himself, it seemed. The music was soft and slow. Anna stood for a moment and listened. She didn't speak. She didn't take a photo. She just listened. Then, when the song ended, she said, "That was beautiful." The man smiled and said, "Thank you, I play when I can't sleep." Anna nodded. "It helps," she said. He smiled again. She walked home feeling peaceful. When she got inside, she wrote, "I heard a man play violin at night. He didn't ask for anything. He just shared beauty with the air. I think some people bring peace into the world without knowing it." She closed the notebook, placed it gently on the table, and went to bed. That night, she dreamed of music floating over water. The sound was not loud, but it filled everything. And in the dream, she was not alone. Part 3: Small Notes, Quiet Connections. Anna woke up to the sound of soft rain tapping on the window. She didn't rush out of bed. Instead, she pulled the blanket up and lay still for a few minutes, listening. It was Saturday, and she didn't have work. The rain fell gently, and the world outside sounded softer than usual. She smiled and thought, the rain slows everything down. That's good. After breakfast, toast, cheese, and tea, she opened her notebook. She wrote slowly, "This morning, I listened to the rain. I didn't do anything. I just listened. It made me feel calm and quiet." Then she looked at the green notebook, the new one she bought. She hadn't given it to anyone yet. But today, she thought maybe she would. She got dressed and left her apartment. The streets were wet, but the rain had stopped. Clouds still moved slowly in the sky. She walked to the cafe on the corner. It was small, with wooden tables and warm lights. Inside, people read books, worked on laptops, or talked in low voices. Anna ordered tea and sat near the window. She liked this place. Not because of the drinks, but because no one rushed. The time moved gently here. As she sipped her tea, she noticed a woman sitting alone across the room. The woman had a tired face and a soft blue scarf. She stared at her coffee but didn't drink. She looked like she was thinking hard, or maybe remembering. Anna didn't know why, but she felt something, a quiet pull like a thread. She opened her bag, took out the green notebook, and wrote on the first page. This notebook is for one good thing each day. Small things. Quiet things. Kind things. If you want, you can try. She closed the notebook, stood up, and walked to the woman's table. Anna, hi, I know this is strange, but I want to give you something. The woman looked up, surprised but not angry. Anna placed the notebook on the table and said, "It helped me, maybe it can help you too." Then she smiled and walked out. She didn't wait for a response. She didn't look back. She didn't need to. As she walked home, the sun came through the clouds for a short time. Light touched the trees and the wet street. Everything looked fresh and clean. That evening she wrote, "I gave the notebook to a stranger. I didn't ask for anything. But I feel full. Maybe kindness is like a door. When you open it for someone else, the air changes for you too." A call from her mother. That night, as Anna was washing her cup, her phone rang. It was her mother. Anna dried her hands and answered the call. "Anna, hi Mom." "Mother, hello dears, how are you?" "Anna, I'm good, really. I feel a little different these days, in a nice way." "Mother, that's good to hear. What's changed?" Anna thought for a moment. "Anna, nothing big. I just started noticing small things. I write them down in a notebook, like a little habit." There was a short silence on the line, then her mother said, "Mother, that sounds beautiful. I used to write in a journal when I was your age." Anna, surprised, "Really? You never told me that." "Mother, I wrote about dreams, whether birds I saw, just little things." Anna smiled. She felt closer to her mother in that moment, not because of a big story, but because of something simple and shared. After the call, Anna lit a candle and opened her notebook. She didn't rush to write. She just sat and thought. Then she wrote, "I talked to my mother. She used to write too. Sometimes we are more alike than we know." The sky at night. Later that evening, Anna walked to her window and looked up. The sky was clear again. She could see a few stars. A plane moved across the dark sky, its lights blinking softly. She thought of all the people inside, going to different places. She wondered if someone else was looking out of a window like hers. Maybe thinking about small things too. She didn't feel lonely. She felt connected. She picked up her notebook again and added, "I saw stars tonight, and one plane. I thought of other people I don't know, living quiet lives. We don't see each other, but we share the same sky." Part 4. It was Sunday, and Anna woke up without an alarm. The sun was already bright, and the curtains let in golden light. She felt rested. She made tea, ate toast with honey, and opened her notebook. Before writing, she paused. She looked out of the window and listened. There was a group of birds flying across the sky. They moved together, then apart, then back again. Like a dance. She wrote, "Birds move like breath, in and out. Together, they look like one thing. But each bird has its own wings." That afternoon, Anna walked to a local community center. There was a small flyer on her building's board last week. "Circle of Calm, a space to share thoughts, quiet, and tea. All welcome." Anna didn't know why, but she felt like going. She wore her soft sweater and comfortable shoes. She took her notebook, a pen, and a small thermos of tea. The community center was quiet and warm. The room had pillows on the floor, candles on the shelves, and a big window that showed the trees outside. There were 6 other people there, some young, some older. The woman who led the group had gray hair and kind eyes. Her name was Mara. As she said, "You don't need to talk if you don't want. Just listen, or write, or sit. This space is for rest." Anna felt safe. They sat in a circle. No one spoke at first. They just breathed together. Then Mara asked, "Has anyone noticed something small this week that made them smile?" One man said he saw a girl give her sandwich to a hungry man. Another person said they woke up one morning to find a flower had grown from a crack in the wall. Anna raised her hand. As she said, "I gave a notebook to a stranger in a cafe. I didn't say much, but I felt like I passed something forward." The room was silent. Then someone said, "That's the kind of thing that stays with you." After the meeting, Anna stayed a bit longer. She helped Mara fold the blankets. "Mara, you're new here. I'm glad you came." "Anna, I wasn't sure at first, but I'm glad too." "Mara, this group isn't about big answers. It's about small seeds." Anna smiled. That night, she sat on her balcony with a cup of tea. She looked up at the moon and wrote, "I sat in a circle today. We shared simple stories. And I didn't feel alone." Maybe calm can grow between people. Chapter 5, Sharing Quiet. The next few days passed slowly, but gently. Anna returned to work on Monday, and the office was as busy as usual. But her mind moved at a different pace now. She still answered emails. She still filled forms and attended meetings. But between each task, she paused, even for a second, just to breathe. Sometimes she looked at the small plant on her desk. Sometimes she smiled at someone without needing a reason. She brought her notebook to work now, always. During lunch breaks, she wrote short notes. "I saw a paper boat in a puddle." A woman helped a child tie her shoes. The smell of fresh oranges filled the shop. Someone played soft jazz on their phone in the train. These things didn't change the world. But they changed her. On Wednesday, her coworker James came to her desk. "James, Anna, I wanted to ask, you always write during lunch. What do you write?" Anna hesitated. Then she opened a page and showed him. James read quietly, then smiled. "James, you notice things. Good things, that's rare." Anna nodded. "Anna, it helps me. Just one good thing every day." James looked thoughtful. Then he said, "James, I think I want to try that too." Anna reached into her bag. She had brought 2 extra notebooks, small, simple, light green. She gave one to him. "Anna, here, a gift." James was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Thank you, I really needed this today." That evening, Anna went to the bookstore again. The cat was sleeping in the window. She went inside and bought 4 more notebooks. She didn't know who would need them yet. But she trusted she would know. Before bed, she lit her candle, made chamomile tea, and opened her notebook. As she wrote, "One person asked. One person listened. One person now writes." Small changes are not always visible, but they move through the world like wind. Chapter 6, The Window and the Wall. The weekend came again, and with it, a soft rain that lasted all day. Anna stayed indoors. She wore warm socks, drank cinnamon tea, and read from a book she hadn't touched in months. But even in the quiet of her room, she felt something growing, not loud, not fast, but steady. That afternoon, she stood by her window and watched the street. She saw a man stop his bicycle to help a child pick up a dropped toy. She saw 2 older women share an umbrella. She saw a teenager dance across a puddle, arms open wide like wings. She didn't take a photo. She didn't post anything. She simply watched. Then she wrote, "The world is full of soft stories. I don't need to catch them all. I just need to see one at a time." The wall. Later that day, Anna walked down to the laundry room in her building. While waiting for her clothes, she sat near the back wall, one she had never looked at closely before. It was covered in old paint, scratches, even a few names carved into the bricks. But something caught her eye. A small message, written in black marker, almost hidden. "You are enough, even on quiet days." Anna felt her breath stop for a second. She looked around. No one was there. She touched the message gently, then took out her notebook. "I read a message on a wall today. I don't know who wrote it, but it felt like it was for me. We leave pieces of ourselves in places we don't remember. And sometimes, those pieces find others who need them." Sharing continues. The next Monday, she brought another notebook to the cafe where she had once given one away. The same woman was there, the one with the blue scarf. When she saw Anna, she stood up and walked over. "Woman, I remember you." Anna smiled. "Anna, how are you?" "Woman, better. That notebook, it's strange. I didn't write in it right away. But then one morning I did, and now I write every day, just one small thing." Anna nodded. "Anna, that's how it begins." They sat and talked for 20 minutes. No big stories. Just calm words. Before leaving, the woman said, "Thank you, you didn't know me, but you saw me." That night, Anna wrote, "Today, someone returned a smile I gave weeks ago." Time is not always fast. Kindness moves slowly, but it moves. Chapter 7, The Garden of Days. One morning, while walking through a street she didn't usually take, Anna saw a small sign outside a tall wooden gate. It read, "Community Garden, Visitors Welcome." She paused. She hadn't planned to go anywhere special that day. But her feet turned toward the gate. Inside, the space opened into a quiet garden. There were small trees, flowers in boxes, herbs in rows, and a few wooden benches. People moved slowly, watering, digging, talking quietly. The air smelled of earth and leaves. A light breeze passed through. Anna walked along the path and sat on an empty bench near a row of lavender. After a few minutes, a woman with curly hair and gardening gloves came by. "Woman, first time here." "Anna, yes, it's beautiful." "Woman, we take care of it together." "You're welcome to sit or help if you like." Anna smiled. She reached down and touched the edge of a plant. It was soft and green. "Anna, maybe next time I'll help." "Woman, we're here every weekend." "My name's Elise." "Anna, I'm Anna, thank you." She sat for a long time, just watching. A boy ran past, holding a watering can that was almost too big for him. Two women planted seeds and hummed an old song together. A man carried a basket of mint and smiled as he passed. Before leaving, Anna picked up a small leaf that had fallen on the bench. She held it between her fingers, light, delicate, alive. That evening, she placed the leaf inside her notebook like a bookmark. Then she wrote, "I found a place where people grow things slowly. They don't speak loudly. They don't move quickly. But everything they touch turns green." The idea. Later that week, Anna had an idea. She made a small sign and placed it on the notice board near the building entrance. "The small things table. Leave one thing that brings joy." A word, a photo, a leaf, a drawing, a thought. Take one if you need it. First floor near the mailboxes. She took a small wooden tray from her kitchen and placed it under the sign. She left a photo of the sky and a piece of paper that read, "Today the light came through the trees like music." The next day, someone left a drawing of a sleeping cat. Another left a paper with a single word, "Hope." Anna didn't know who left them. She didn't need to. Each item felt like a quiet voice saying, "I see the world too." That night she wrote, "There are people I've never met who now leave beauty in my hallway. We don't talk, but we listen with our eyes." Chapter 8, When Days Begin to Answer. The weather changed. The mornings were cooler now. Leaves turned yellow and brown. Some fell slowly from the trees and landed like quiet thoughts on the ground. Anna walked more these days. She didn't always have a reason. Sometimes she just followed the sound of the wind or the way the light touched the street. One Thursday morning, she stopped near a fence covered in ivy. There was a piece of paper stuck between the vines. She gently pulled it free and read the handwriting. "I walked alone this morning, but the sky walked with me." She smiled. She folded the note and placed it in her pocket. At work, at the office, more people were writing. James, who first asked about her notebook, had filled 10 pages now. He told Anna he had started looking at the world differently, not more or less, just slower. Another coworker, Mina, came to Anna one day and whispered, "Mina, I started writing too. I didn't tell anyone yet, but it helps me sleep better." Anna felt warm hearing that. Something was growing. Not fast, not loud, but real. The library talk. That weekend, Anna went to the local library. There was a small event, stories from everyday life. People were invited to read short things they had written. Anna hadn't planned to speak, but she brought her notebook just in case. At the event, people of all ages read poems, letters, short memories. A boy read a list of sounds he liked. Leaves and wind, pages turning, mom's voice, dogs drinking water. When the host asked if anyone else wanted to read, Anna slowly stood up. She walked to the front, opened her notebook, and read. "Today I saw a man waiting for the bus. He stood in the sun with his eyes closed. He looked like he was listening to something beautiful. I think the sun was talking to him." When she finished, the room was silent, then someone clapped. Then another. And another. It wasn't loud, but it felt like home. That night, Anna sat in her apartment and wrote. "I shared a page today. My voice shook, but it stood. People listened. I think I'm learning how to stay open." Chapter 9, A Quiet Thread Between Us. Anna woke up to the sound of rain again. It was different this time, not soft, not light. It was strong, like the sky had something to say. She stayed in bed longer than usual, listening. Then she got up, made tea, and watched the rain from her window. A man ran down the street, holding his coat above his head. 2 girls jumped into a puddle, laughing. A dog stopped walking and refused to move. Anna smiled. She opened her notebook and wrote. The rain speaks to each person in a different way. Some run, some play, some pause. I just listened today. The seed exchange. Later that week, Anna visited the community garden again. It was busy, the harvest season had begun. People picked tomatoes, carrots, and herbs. A table near the entrance held baskets of seeds, with a sign. Take one, leave one, grow something. Anna didn't have seeds, but she had her notebook. She tore out a page and wrote. Grow what you need. Patience, stillness, joy. Water daily. Light required. She folded the note and placed it inside an envelope marked Open Me. Then she tucked it between seed packets. Later, as she sat beneath the old apple tree, Elise, the gardener, came over. Elise, I read your note. Anna, oh, I didn't know if anyone would. Elise, it was just what I needed this morning. Sometimes I forget that I can grow inside too. Anna smiled, and Elise sat beside her. They didn't say much after that. Only the sound of birds and wind moved between them. That evening, Anna added a new page to her notebook. I think words are like seeds. You plant them, and sometimes you don't see what grows. But something always does, even if it's just one small leaf. Chapter 10, Where the Past Waits Quietly. One chilly morning, Anna opened a drawer she hadn't touched in a long time. Inside were old letters, postcards, a broken watch, and one faded photograph. It showed her as a child, sitting on her grandfather's lap, smiling. They were in a garden, holding hands. She remembered that garden, the sound of bees, the smell of soil, the coolness of the grass. She closed her eyes and let the memory return. Her grandfather used to say, "If you're quiet enough, the world talks to you." Anna smiled. She hadn't thought about that in years. Later that day, she visited a small park near her childhood home. The trees were taller now. Some benches had new paint. She sat near a fountain where she used to feed birds with her grandmother. There were no birds now. Just silence. And it was perfect. She took out her notebook and wrote, "I returned to a place I once knew. It's different now, but it still holds me." The past doesn't disappear, it just becomes softer. That evening, she called her mother. They spoke about small things, tea, weather, a neighbor's new puppy. Then Anna said, "Anna, I visited the old park today." "Mother, did the big tree survive?" "Anna, yes, it's still there, bigger than ever." "Mother, I'm glad. Some things stay, even when everything else changes." After the call, Anna thought about how time moves, not in straight lines, but in soft curves. She added to her notebook, "I used to run through that park. Now I sit in it." Maybe growing up isn't about becoming different, but becoming slower and still loving the same things. Chapter 11, The Space Between Sounds. The next morning, Anna woke to stillness. No birds. No wind. No cars. Just quiet. She stayed in bed longer than usual, letting the silence hold her. Then she rose slowly, made her tea, and returned to the window. The world looked paused, as if waiting for something, or maybe for nothing at all. She didn't feel sad. In fact, she felt peaceful, like she was part of the quiet. She opened her notebook and wrote, "Sometimes nothing is happening. And that is exactly what I need." An unexpected letter. Later that day, Anna checked her mailbox and found an envelope without a return name. Inside was a short note. "You left a green notebook in a cafe. I didn't use it at first, but now I carry it everywhere. One good thing a day. It changed me. Thank you." No name. Just those words. Anna sat on the stairs, holding the paper in her hand for a long time. Then she smiled. She didn't need to know who it was. That evening, she walked to the community garden. The season was turning. Leaves were falling, and the sky darkened earlier now. Elise was there, preparing the ground for winter. Anna need help. Elise, always. They worked in silence, pulling old plants, covering soil, placing markers. At the end, Elise handed her a small cloth bag. Inside were tiny seeds. "Elise, they're for spring. But I wanted you to have them now." Anna looked down at the seeds. "Anna, they're so small." "Elise, the small things always are." That night, Anna sat by candlelight and wrote, "I held seeds in my hand today. They were light but full of everything. I think I'm a seed too. Quiet on the outside, but ready to grow." Chapter 12, A Room Filled with Light. It was a Sunday morning, months after Anna first picked up her notebook. The weather was cold, but the sky was clear. She wore her thick coat and soft scarf and took her time walking. She didn't need to go anywhere special. That was the change. Before, she used to fill her days with noise. Calls, music, news, messages, plans. Now she moved with quiet. Not emptiness, but presence. She noticed the sound of her feet on the sidewalk. The way her breath made small clouds in the air. The soft smile of the man selling apples at the corner. She stopped near the garden wall and sat on a bench. She pulled her notebook from her bag, now thick with pages. She flipped through it slowly. Each line was a small moment. Each page a breath of memory. Birds flying together. Tea on a rainy day. A stranger's thank you. A quiet circle. A bench in the sun. The first frost on a leaf. One deep breath. She opened to the last page and paused. Then she wrote, "I don't need to change the world. I just need to see it. One moment at a time. One small thing each day. That is enough. The room. That night, Anna lit a candle, turned off the lights, and sat in stillness. She didn't write. She didn't speak. She didn't try to make meaning. She just let the day end gently, like a leaf falling into a stream. Outside, the city moved as always, with noise and plans and speed. But inside her small apartment, there was light. Soft, steady, warm. Final words in the notebook. On the very last page, she wrote, "This notebook is full, but I am not done. There is always another leaf. Another note. Another kindness. Another chance to see the world gently." And then, in smaller letters, "Begin again." The end.